Well, it's October 23rd. It is 63 degrees today. It is sunny. It is a stunning, perfect, cool, dry day. And I thought it was a good time to do some updates on the projects that we've done this year. The trees are all behind me on the deck. I've long since moved them from the ground to the deck to fight the scourge of raccoons. I wish I could have inserted some footage from the battles from the year, which would have included hoses, slingshots, fireplace pokers, and rocks. It got dirty. It got ugly, but once I put all the trees up on the deck, the raccoons stopped tipping them over and digging out the dirt every single night. But here we are. What do you say? I think first we need to get that table cleaned off. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right. First thing is this guy. Oh, it's heavy.
Can I sit in it?
Well, here we are with Norway Maple number 2. This is the first project we did this year. We did a repot and we pruned the heck out of it, and it's done really well. You know, it's actually got some ramification going on now that I'm looking more closely at this. Where I pruned it, in a lot of cases, it's gone from 1 to 2 branches, which is perfect. It's got some roots coming down through the bottom of the pot. I think it looks pretty sick. The leaf size, I have to say, is a little bit smaller than you would normally see on a Norway Maple, which I don't know if that really means that the leaf size is reducing, but I don't care. It just looks good. Yeah, that's the first update. Looking good. Where is it? Nope, da Finkel, da Einhorn. Finkel and Einhorn. Finkel is Einhorn. Finkel, Einhorn. Okay, next up is the Korean Hornbeam, aka the Finkel and Einhorn tree that we repotted. I think all we did was repot it, right? And we did that real cute contraption to help spread the roots and get some good flare at the base. I, of course, do not see any flare at the base because there's lots of moss, for one thing. But I do see lots of roots coming out the bottom of the pot, which is always good. It really didn't grow much after I did the work, and I'm not sure if that's just how hornbeams grow or not. Maybe it has just one flush of growth a year. I don't know. I don't have any hornbeams. This is my only one. I do see lots of nice, healthy buds ready for next year. Other than that, not much change. I mean, it looks fine. It's fine. Time will tell if the Finkel and Einhorn method works or not. Okay, that's it. So this is just a sampling of the Dawn Redwood cuttings. I've got more than this. And all the ones that had growth on them when I pulled them out of the bucket this spring have done well, which is great. Oh boy. And yeah, I mean, super healthy. I mean, I think if I just use this one as an example, my guess is that the cutting was that tall when I potted them all up in the spring, and all of this is new growth. So super vigorous trees, super cool trees. I think this collection right here has forest written all over it. As for this year's cuttings, unfortunately, not so good. You can see a lot of green growth in here, but you'll also see lots of dead ones, like this guy right here. No roots. Should have taken better care of them, but I wasn't paying too much attention. All right, and then I did a cute little short in which I told you to go check out your street trees. And here is the result. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 still surviving. The rest of them, like this guy, went through what you call a little bit of damping off, which is new to me. Although that root system looks pretty good. I shouldn't have done that. Actually looks like it's still alive. Hold on. Whoa! Damn it. Well, I don't know how it's alive, but it's alive. Oh well. So those are my field maples, and then there was a hornbeam, and it's doing fine. That's an American hornbeam. All from seed. Fun, huh? And then we went on a journey and grabbed some Wisteria Yamadori. and it's hard to pick it apart because it's surrounded by Forsythias. But let's see. There's the base, and mosquitoes. And the guy went crazy. If you follow these woody vines up here, follow, follow, follow. Follow, follow, follow. I mean, the thing just went crazy. It had so much stored energy in the trunk. Or at least that's my ignoramus theory. And then we did these guys. Ow! And then we did these guys. So here's the Forsythias. They're doing fine. You know, they didn't put on another flush of growth like I thought they would. Not every, what is that? Not every Hail Mary cut worked out, but for the most part, they seem healthy enough. Forsythia number, was it 4-3? I don't know. The clump one is showing some color, which is a little concerning because they don't, you know, the ones on the ground are not showing any color. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. It's probably fine. It's a Forsythia. It probably doesn't give a shit. So, my friend Odd Bonsai made a comment that on this one, you know, this is a little bit of a straight shot coming out of this gnarliness down here. So compositionally, maybe not the best thing in the world, but I think it'd be kind of a drastic thing to chop that all the way back at this point. It's certainly not something I'm doing anytime soon, if that's what we do. But yep, they're fine. Okay, so after that, you may recall that I went on a bit of a chop-in spree in which I chopped it. Here was the winner of that particular chop fest. I'll give you a brief tour of some of the more asked about chops and how they turned out. So come on. Here is a little oak chop. And as you can see, that's what it did. I mean, the leaves are huge. Next year we'll probably just chop it, pick one of these trunks and chop one of those. Get rid of that dead wood, carve it down. But yeah, it's gonna make it. Here's my plum air layer. Again, it's pretty fine. That was the major chop right there. It's my Japanese maple, which looks like shit. But there's the chop over there. And it's looking fine. I'll do some carving to that eventually. But basically, it's fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to put it in a new pot next year with some good bonsai soil. And that's it for that. Okay, next up is my big bastard. This is Norway Maple number 1. This is the first tree I collected. So we repotted this, and we trunk chopped it in the spring. And the idea was to let a new leader grow, so we can chop that again in the future. And we selected a bud, and this is that bud. This is the next new leader. So I'll let that grow until I get the taper that I want out of the main trunk. The leaf size is looking great. They tell you that you can't get leaf size reduction on these kind of trees, but I don't know, something's happening. I found this out in the yard. This is a full-size Norway Maple leaf, and if I hold that up just to compare, if you go down to some of the older, smaller branches, it's even smaller yet. So, I mean, look at that. I don't know what that means. I don't know if this means we're actually getting leaf size reduction or not, but it's certainly promising, and it looks great, and it looks in scale. Well, at least it looks more in scale with the tree. We'll do some pruning next year for sure, but until then, you know, pretty happy. But the clear winner of the small Norway Maple division is this guy, which is Norway Maple number, I don't know, 3. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but this was, I hate to use the word literally like a millennial would, but this was literally just a stump. I think it was just this part of the stump that I potted up. And since then, I've built, kind of by accident, a pretty interesting trunk line. However way you look at this, there are nice, interesting angles, some cool movement, good taper. There's going to be some big scars, but those don't bother me like they bother some people. I chopped it right here, and it died back to here. But then it sent out this new leader, which is awesome. It's starting to get some ramification in the back here. I'll have to prune this all again next year. We did repot it in the spring, so I won't repot it again next year. But it's just looking healthy and pretty freaking sweet. I'm gonna let this guy down here grow for a little bit of a sacrifice branch. But for the most part, it looks awesome. Somehow.